I was trying to record it on my camera and then it said it wasn't recording. We've had all sorts of technical problems today. So you've actually read my book, or you're reading my book, which is just something I wrote back in 2008. I think this was printed in 2008. Oh, 2009 it was printed, but I wrote the book in 2008. So the book represents some of my thoughts that I actually had in 2008. And of course, what I really want to say is, your body is your own book of life. And the words that you speak, the thoughts that you have, and the actions of your body are creating like an archive or a recording of everything that you are. And so your body is going to be a representation of what you're hearing, whether you're hearing words from this world or whether you're hearing God's from your true self. So the true self is what I would call Christ in you, or your original template of connection to your higher original identity. So your higher original identity is an inner voice that would inform you of what you are and how you are to act and what you would think. This world has become the voice that most people hear. So if you've gone to school, the teachers have told you their ideas, their curriculum. You've learned things of this world, television, things where you go to work or whatever. All of the ideas and thoughts that have impacted you have actually started to create your identity. If you agree with those thoughts, you actually become one with those thoughts, and that actually is like a writing in your book of life. So your body is recording constantly your environment, and you're learning from this world. Now we know this world is mainly false. It's got a lot of falsity, or it's lies that we're being taught from governments, from TV, from teachers, from everything, even our families. We're learning things of the world that have been repeated over generations and generations of historic programming, whether it be culture, traditions, religion, etc. So we all have been recording in our bodies, in our minds, the teaching of those around us. It becomes very, very important to learn to hear the voice of your true self. It becomes very important to learn the voice of your true self, which is your inner reality, your inner kingdom. The Bible talks about the inner kingdom, which is within the atoms of your body, within the cells of your body. It's within the recordings of all the history of your generations that go back millions and billions of years. So if you are the representation of past family lines of information that's been passed on from generation to generation, and a lot of this is false information, we become the representation of false information as our own experience of life here. We only do what we know, we practice what we know, we teach our children what we know, and a lot of it is not our true original mind of intention. So to actually hear your original voice, your original knowing of your true purpose, your true function, it takes a dedication of your mind to come into almost like a prayerful state or meditative state, to become meditators, and to actually say, I want to hear my own original voice. That voice that I am on higher dimensions, I want to allow those many, you might say, many stations of consciousness that are true. I want to hear them within me. And you might say, I want to now dissolve all misinformation that's coming into me that's not true. So there becomes something that happens within you where you say to yourself, I want that which is for my own best interest and the best interest of everyone else. I want to hear the voice of the living one I am. My original intention, my original purpose, my original function, my original goal, to know myself the way I am outside of time, in the mind of God or in the mind of the Creator or in the mind of your purpose. Why did you come here, sort of thing. And so we realize that this world has programmed us. This world has shut us down. This world has controlled us and is controlling us. And, you know, really speaking, if you can hear the inner voice through your own asking, through your own determination, and you strengthen that voice, you strengthen the current of energy that that voice is, like a river. Can you imagine a river of information flowing in through every cell of your body and informing your mind of new information? It's like saying, okay, in the light of the truth of my own inner reality, in the light of that truth, I can see the darkness of the distortions that I have been taught by this world through many generations in my family lines. And I now want to stand up and receive truth for all generations that brought me here as a body. And I want to send the truth back down those lines, back down those generations. I want to send the truth to all of my ancestors who are well-intentioned in many ways. Most of your ancestors were well-intentioned, and you have received inheritance from your ancestors in your body. Most of them have probably been well-intentioned. Some of them may not have been well-intentioned, and they may have been destructive. So what we can do, and I've learned to do this, is to bless all of my ancestors, to bless them. Yeah? Are you still there with me, you guys?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
We got connected for a little while.
Okay. So I don't know what you heard there, but one thing that I heard from Jesus, which I say is the original Son of God on the planet that we know of, who overcame all distortions within his own body. What I heard from Jesus, or the Holy Spirit, or the Law of One, if you like to say it that way, is bless your ancestors who brought your body here. So what I used to say was, Father or Mother, or Father, Mother, God, or Creator, I used to say, give me a prayer to bless my ancestors. And so I know that my body is the product of my mother and father as they joined together. As they joined together, and my body was knitted together in the womb of my mother, from the seed of my father. I would say, Father, Mother God, Creator One, I want to bless my physical mother and my physical father. I want to bless them so that they would receive what I have found in myself. I have found something in myself which is very, very precious. It's life itself. It's joining into the Creator. I have found something in myself which is beyond the genetics of humanity, but it is divinity. It's the divine nature of God. It's the divine nature of life itself. I found it in myself, and I want to bless all of the genetics within my own body. So I therefore...
How did you find it?
I found...
What?
Okay, good. How did I find it, Svetlana?
Yes.
Okay, I found this basically through reading the Bible and knowing that there is a life that I hadn't seen before. My brother came over from New Zealand to my house back in about 1980 something, and he said, you need to get Jesus in your life. And of course I didn't know what it was, although I'd read the Bible in my youth as a young boy. I'd read the Bible, but I hadn't really known what this life is. And so I started to say, well, if this life is true, prove yourself to me, right? So I had a Bible that my godmother had given me. It was an old Bible. Actually got it here. I'll show you. This Bible here, I don't know if you can see it here.
Yes, yeah.
It's a very old Bible that my godmother gave me, and my mother and father weren't at all interested in spirituality, really. And but my godmother, she said, make sure that Grant goes to church. And I went to church as a boy to hear a little bit about what this Bible meant, although I didn't even understand anything at that time. And it wasn't until I was about the age of 45 years old that I was here in Melbourne, Australia, in Watsonia. Watsonia is a suburb, and my world started to fall apart. In other words, I had a business. I was starting to make a lot of money in the business. I had a wife and a family, and all of these things started to suddenly crumble. My business went into bankruptcy. My marriage went on the rocks. My children were going crazy, you know, out of control. And I started to say, what is going on? And I was sitting in a chair one day, and this Bible was sitting in the bookcase, right? And I heard this voice inside of me say, have a look at that Bible. And I said, well, yeah. And so I sat there, and after about 2 or 3 weeks of sitting in that chair when I came home from work, eventually that Bible almost jumped off the bookcase into my hand.
Oh.
Right? It almost jumped off the bookcase into my hand, and I opened it. I said, okay, I said, if you've got something to show me what it is. Are you there? I'll stop the recording.